Does speaking it into existence work in relationships? Grab your cigar, grab your drink. Let's get into this thing right now. Yeah. It's your boy JB, live and direct to you. You know what it is. Come on and join in. What up? It's your boy JB coming at you live and direct, and you know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. I'm the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Instagram at the Real Cigar Jeff. You can find me on Facebook at Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. And of course, you're on YouTube, man. Do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, mash that like button, turn on that bell right there for notifications so you get alerted every time we drop one of these videos, man. And y'all know, whenever I do a topic of this magnitude, I got to bring in my original crew, the Hometown Hookup Edition. Y'all know, man, I got to let him introduce himself to People's Champ. Y'all love him to death, man. He getting talked about more on the podcast than I'm getting talked about on the podcast. So we got to change that. But I'm going to let him introduce himself. Tell y'all where y'all can find him on the socials and what he's smoking on and what he's drinking on.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for having me back again, JB. What's up, Rhonda? It's your boy, T.O. Clayton. You can find me on Instagram at T.O. Clayton #1. I'm also on Patreon, The Joke I Didn't Tell. Tonight, I'm doing just a little Jack and Coke, nothing too heavy tonight on that end.
Uh-huh.
Now, for my cigar, I'm trying to expand my horizons with my cigar. This was recommended from the cigar shop, and this is the El Septimo. It's out of Costa Rica, and this says Raphael #7 on it.
You got the Sacred Arts collection. Y'all scroll down. We did a Sacred Arts collection. We did the Michelangelo though. Y'all scroll down. Y'all can see it in the playlist. We already did that El Septimo.
This is pretty good. Cool. It was recommended for me, but it's really good.
It would have been recommended if you actually watched the cigar reviews with me in the Real Cigar K. But
I just fast forward through your part and I just watched the Real Cigar K's part. So.
Y'all see what I'm saying? Haters go hate. Like I didn't know what El Septimo is. Good stick though. Real good stick. Shout out to El Septimo, man. Good stick. TLC. Appreciate you being on the podcast, bro. She's better normal now. I talked to my mama this week, so I don't know if she is. All right, let's get in here. Y'all know who next, man. I can't do a podcast without my A1 from day one. I'm going to let her introduce herself. Tell y'all where y'all can find her on the socials and what she's sipping on tonight.
Hey, guys. Thanks, JB, for having me on the call. TLC, make it do what it do. It's your girl, Rhonda. You can find me on IG at RMBLNBT. I don't know why I said that, but I said it. But I'm drinking on tonight. I got my apple mule, so I'm sipping on some Crown with my ginger beer. I had to just go with an oldie but goodie. Hope I don't cough with the spice of it.
Got that hospital straw going on. Man, you know how it is, man. Always good to have my dog with me. Always good to have my dog with me, man. You know, people don't realize it's good to have some podcast. You know, the it's necessary. Have some support. Yeah, that's what I like. And man, y'all know me. I'm still going through my Cigar International bundle, man. So I'm smoking on my Cigar International bundle, man. That's more like a Cohiba derivative, man. And of course, TLC, I had to bring the Milagro back. I had to bring the Milagro back. There go the bottle, TLC, just in case. You see it, we almost through it. I got to go get me something new.
Nice.
And to show off, y'all see I'm flying the merch. I'm flying the colors tonight. Mine finally made it in. Tell me what you think about that.
Yeah.
Finally got my merch in.
Nice.
Finally got my merch in. My merch starting to come in. Y'all see it. Coffee mug. When you get this age, you got to drink a lot of tea to keep everything working. So I need a coffee mug. And of course, my favorite mug. Everybody need to go cop that one. That'll get you going in the morning right there. Seeing that. Go in there. Link in the description, baby. Y'all get the merch. And by the way, I just got alerted that it used the coupon code end of summer 20. It's gonna be in the description. End of summer 20. You get 20% off the merch.
Let me
you get 20% off the merch. Say what you say, Ron?
Let me get me some more merch then.
Yeah, man, 20% off. Guys, this merch feeling good. Shirt feeling good. I'm telling y'all, got some more on the way. We about to start flying this merch, man. So yeah, that's my little infomercial today. But let's hop into this thing, man. Let's hop into this thing. The speaking it into existence, working relationships. And one of the reasons, guys, we doing this topic. One of the reasons we doing this topic is simple. We've been on this relationship kick for a while. I don't know when we gonna get off of it, but we've been on this relationship kick for a while. And I just wanted to get people's thoughts because a lot of people are struggling in relationships. And then you hear the dreaded, well, I'm just going to speak it into existence. I'm just going to keep speaking it into existence. You hear the dreaded phrase. So I said, I got to get with my crew to see if this actually works. TLC, you got the topic, man. Tell me what you thought when you got the topic.
The first thing I thought of was no, it doesn't work. Now, I do believe in the law of attraction, and I do believe in speaking things into existence. Those two things I do believe in. But when you said, does it work with relationships? That's when I said no. Because in order to have a relationship, you have to have two or more people or entities. And just because you're speaking it into existence doesn't mean the person you with is speaking it into existence. So, and you know, maybe you are both saying the same thing, but you may not both be thinking the same thing. So again, law of attraction is what you're looking for out in the world that's going to come to you. So I don't know if the two people are on the same page. So I would say no.
Okay. All right. Rhonda, what do you think about? What do you think when you got the topic?
Well, first I had to chuckle because I feel like that's something a lot of Christian people I know would say.
Hold on. You said what kind of people?
Christian people that I know.
Okay.
Not all Christians, just the ones I know. And for me, that's a red flag to let me know stuff that gone all the way to the wrong side. And it's just you hanging on for dear life and don't know what to do. And so, so from that standpoint, in their mind, they'll think that'll work. But if you're looking at it from a reality standpoint, it does not help your relationship. Unless you believe the lie.
Okay. Now that's an interesting take. That's an interesting take, Ron. Now I'm gonna go a little different. I'm gonna say yes with a caveat. I'm gonna say yes.
I thought there were no caveats. It's either yes or no.
I'm changing the rules on the podcast. TLC, when you steal my techniques and stuff and start your own podcast, you can change the rules. You can change the rules too, because I know it's coming. You know, I'll say this to you guys. One of the things I've learned is everything works with a caveat. Everything works with a caveat. So my perspective is it does work with the caveat of actual work attached to it. The people who you hear speaking into existence, man, how many times you gonna say it in the mirror? You need to go tell her too. Because she don't know you over here doing these daily affirmations, right? So when you gonna go talk to her? When you gonna go talk to him, right? And again, the funny thing about this, guys, is that I like what Rhonda said, because that might be the point of this whole thing. If you done got to the point where you talking about speaking it in existence, it's always the last resort. Yeah. If I hear anybody talking about speaking it into existence, I already know it's over. Now, quit happened long before stop occurs. My Cutlass used to break down at exit 260, but it kept going to exit 262, right? So quit happened long before stop occurs. The caveat is most people who are doing speaking it into existence doesn't work. Now, y'all know, we talking about relationships. You talking about relationship. You ever notice when you talk to people who are married, what do they say? Marriage is work. Marriage is work. But when they were dating, they never said dating was work. Right? And TLC, am I lying? Have you ever heard anybody say dating out here is work?
I really haven't, because I think about that. I think when you're dating, I think you feel like you're not obligated to be there. You have a choice. Mm-hmm. But I think once people get married, they done sign some paperwork. I feel like they have to be together. It's forced to be together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you preached.
Going back to what Rhonda said, I agree with what Rhonda said when they're on their last leg, when they're speaking. Because really, the mind is a powerful thing. And it's a computer. It's always processing stuff. So if you're at the point where you're talking about something and you're speaking it out loud, in the back of your mind, you're already processing stuff, regardless of what it is. If you're talking about a relationship, then that means you've thought about it so much that it's in the back of your head. You've already been putting the steps together, what you're going to do or how you're going to do it. You're just saying it out loud so someone else will agree with you or not. But
yeah,
I think it's already there. So, yeah, I agree with Ron on that one.
Okay, so I'm glad, TLC, I'm glad you said that. Sorry, I'm lighting up my cigar. It's funny that you say that, TLC, and I agree with what Rhonda said too. It's the last leg for the people who don't know. TLC, you bought it in. I don't think I done got away from it. You bought it in. If you don't know the law of attraction, you shouldn't even be talking about this, because this is rooted into the law of attraction. Ask people about speaking it into existence. When they say, I'm going to just speak it into existence. Man, I'm going to just speak it into existence. I'm going to be positive. Y'all know how I feel. Positive vibes only mean lie to me only. Right? Lie to me. But go ahead, TLC.
Well, now that you say that, we might need to take a step back for some of the listeners who aren't familiar with the law of attraction and just break it down simple.
Okay, no problem.
It basically says that whatever you're focused on is what the universe will send your way. So let's say you have a money issue. You might be looking at your bills and you go to the mailbox and you look at your bills. But when you look at your bills, you're thinking about debt and how you're like going to have to pay that and all that good stuff. So you're not really thinking, even though you're thinking about money and you want to make money, you're actually focusing on the debt part versus the money. So the law of attraction says you need to be focusing on actually making money. And then as you start thinking about that and processing that, like, your actions should follow. And even subconsciously, you'll start formulating a plan to build more income for yourself. So that's the law of attraction, basically.
Okay, that's what he said is basically, right? So y'all know what I got to do. I got to come to the law of attraction. Let's simplify it. Premise is that like attracts like. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. All right, TLC. You went all around that. You went all around the world on that.
Well, law of attraction is the point is that you have to make sure your energy is focused on the right thing. That was the point I was making.
Oh, I just want to simplify it, because you kissed all around it, didn't do nothing to it. But the law of attraction, guys, is built on the premise that like attracts like. It's about the idea of where your attention goes, your energy flows. Okay, to get what you really want in life, you need a clear goal that has purpose and meaning behind it, right? So when you hear somebody talking about speaking it into existence, the one thing I like to tell people all the time is, okay, now after you speak it into existence, what you gonna do? And you remember when I said in the previous podcast, if you ask somebody, about marriage, they're gonna tell you they've been married a certain amount of years, then nothing comes after that. Well, if you talk to people who talk about speaking it into existence, they never talk to you about the tangible things they're going to do. And that's my caveat. The law of attraction works if there's tangible stuff tied to it. But you can't just speak things into existence and think you have that kind of power that it's just going to happen like you a genie in the bottle, or that you done pick the right marshmallow out of the Lucky Charms and it's your lucky day. So I think what happened with TLC, it's the truth, though. It's the truth. People are trying to do hocus pocus in their relationships. And for y'all got to understand, this is how much relationships suck. Because when you dating, you don't hear people saying, I'm going to speak it into existence. It's these people who trying to have exclusive relationships, married relationships. And that's what happens. They always talk about speaking it into existence. And here's how you want to know. Let me stop sharing this. I got to see Rhonda. I got to see Rhonda's face when I say this. Y'all ever talk to somebody who's talking about speaking it into existence, and then you give them a follow-up question, and they look like they done lost all confidence? Oh yeah, Jeff, I'm telling you, she gonna come around, bro. I'm gonna just speak that thing into existence. And all you gotta say, come around and do what? Huh? Come around and do what? Well, I'm just saying, man, I'm telling you, bro. If I just keep, okay, so you over here being Russell Wilson. Future ain't making all these daily affirmations.
Oh, Lord.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
I can't hear you. I think I lost Joe.
Oh, yeah.
His head went out. But the thing about law of attraction is that you're supposed to be as specific as possible for what you want. So if you just want to say, well, she's going to come around, yeah, she might be around you more, but you might be miserable. It's about what do you...
No, she'll be around somebody else.
She might come around and be around somebody else. But it's about being as specific as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I was saying.
No, y'all keep talking. Y'all keep talking. Yeah. I just got to get my mic back up.
No, it's up. It's up.
Y'all can hear me?
Uh-huh.
I can give you an example of
a
law of attraction. Not dealing with relationships, just in general. Because I mentioned in the past I had a vision board. So at one point in time, my dad played guitar. He taught himself how to play guitar.
Okay.
He got arthritis, so he couldn't play anymore. He gave me his guitar, and I just put it in one of the closets in my room. I forgot about it. Now, whenever I go to Rain Jacket, I open up the closet, I see it in there, and I think, oh, you know what? I was going to take guitar lessons. As soon as I close that closet, I forget about it. Mm-hmm. So for me, I have a vision board. I took a picture of the guitar, put it on my vision board. Now I walk by it every day. So I'm actually thinking about it every day. It stays on the forefront. Because really, taking guitar lessons is not my biggest priority. So it's easy to put stuff back and forget about it. Mm-hmm. And so that helps. And I think it's the same thing with the law of attraction and speaking things into existence. Just because you say it one day out of the week doesn't really mean anything. But you have to keep that affirmation going. And that's a big part of it. That is what keeps you focused and gives you direction. And then, regardless if you even realize it or not, throughout the day, you will start processing, okay, this is what I need to do in my relationship. Or this is what I want her to do in the relationship. But that's the whole thing. It's about keeping it on the forefront of your mind.
But if people are only talking to themselves, then it doesn't matter what type of law of attraction you have. Like, you have to let the person that you are in the relationship know that, hey, yes, we are having these issues right now, but this is what I'm doing. And again, ain't knocking people who have a ritual that they do and pray together, stay together, all the cliches that couples could say. But a lot of times, because people don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or if they don't want to get real with the person that they're with, which makes no sense to me. Because why are you married to someone or dating someone seriously if you can't show them all your flaws and all your thoughts and things? You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes all you got is a lie.
Yes, it's like, and I watched this video yesterday, and it was an old video of James Baldwin, and I don't know who he was talking to, but it was another actress, and it was if I could find it, I'm gonna send it to y'all. And James Baldwin was like, I'm in a relationship with you, so I can't lie to you. I shouldn't lie to you. And she said, no, baby, you gotta lie to me. She said, because you'll lie to that white man on your job all day smiling in his face. Then you come here, I get the least of you. Because I get the part of you that's upset and beat down and but I gotta love you anyway. So no, lie to me. Like, smile like when you come around me. Like, do all of that, right? And so I thought that thing was so impressive to hear, because the last thing we want to say in a relationship, don't lie to me.
See, now you bring up a whole nother...
Right, but that's what I'm saying,
point.
Right? Like, what?
How much lying can you do that's acceptable? That's... Because I can't lie to you all the time, because then there's no truth whatsoever to our relationship. But then again, I might need to lie to you a little bit just to keep some spice in it.
Right. Like, you can't tell somebody, you can't tell, people always want to be told the truth, but they rather be lied to at the end of the day. They want you to tell them the truth, but then when they can't handle it, it's like, oh no. And then that's when you got to call your boys up, or you got to call your girls up and be like, what in the world? What should I do? What should I do? So if that's what you're going to attract, but I love how she said that though, because when we go to work or to our businesses interfacing with our customers, we do put up up front, because we want to attract the promotion. We want to attract whatever, whatever levels we go or the salary.
Hold on, Rhonda. Can you hear me?
There you
Can you hear me now, Rhonda?
You're back.
I hear you.
Look,
yeah.
I like how you said we got to put on the front. That's why we don't look. Once we go, what we look like in the interview, we won't look like that again.
I must say, I think lying is a skill set. It is a very useful skill set. You just need to know when and where to apply it. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but here's the deal, though. Lying. I'm glad you said that, TLC, because that's what speaking it into existence is a lie unless you have a plan of tangible activities you're going to do to make it work, right? So that's why I hate when I see people in the interview. That's why I have staff meetings early in the morning, because that's how that person really look, right? And TLC, I'm just telling you. So when you hear these things about people speaking into existence, I think Rhonda done already got the nugget of the day. The nugget of the day is actually pretty simple. You on your last leg if you talking like this. I think that just threw my whole plan off of what I was going to talk about. Rhonda didn't just simplify the podcast. Could have been over with at minute 5 after I did the introductions, TLC. We gonna have to tell Rhonda to drop her jewels at the end, not at the beginning, because it didn't through me. All these tabs I was gonna share don't matter now. Because in essence, guys, you're on your last leg. And the reason you're on your last leg is because you brought your tradition to the table, they brought their tradition to the table, and it didn't work. Okay? And now you got a clash of the traditions. Here's what I think she should be doing. Here's what he thinks you should be doing. Jump in there, TLC. Let me know what you think, brother.
We've talked about the clash of traditions in other podcasts, but have we ever talked about how to resolve that? Like if I have my traditions and someone else has theirs, how do you move forward? Like
you can't. And I'm gonna tell you like this. Let's look at religion. Somebody got to convert, or otherwise it's over.
Absolutely.
Somebody got to convert, right? And when you start having speaking into existence, basically, you trying to say, no, it's my will against your will, right? It's my will against your will. And what happens is that's when external forces start entering the relationship. Well, y'all know what I mean. Go ahead.
Let me ask this, though. With most religions, do they all have that single thread of the wives submitting to your husbands and all that kind of thing? Like, I don't know. I know.
Yeah, well, every if you look at the core religions, right? If you look at the core religions, the wives have to submit to their husband. But this is why people got to move into the 20th. People got to move into year 2023. In those times, those rules were made when women were property, right? And again, that's why is human trafficking illegal? Because the rules changed, the laws changed, people became citizens, and there's certain rules that are intact. And what a lot of guys got to understand, because you hear this thing in religion, the person who's talking about speaking things into existence is the person who wished that other person would do what they say. But that other person is just like, there ain't no way in the hell I'm gonna do what you say.
You would if you were dating. You would
if y'all were, but here's the deal. When y'all were dating, everybody did everything. Notice when you're dating, you ain't had to talk about submission. Man, bruh, I came home, house was clean, right? Everything was ready to go. Man, we went out. She had already called a restaurant, told them we were coming. It was my birthday, all this kind of stuff. Now when it's your birthday, here. What? Okay, all right. TLC, ain't no presentation to it. Here. Now, why am I saying that to you guys? Because I think Rhonda's point, if you're at this point in your relationship where you're talking about speaking it into existence, this is your last leg. You need to put some rubber to the road. And what happens is that if you got to speak it into existence, they already with somebody who has it in existence. Now, our future podcast gonna be if you got to speak it into existence, they already with somebody who has it in existence.
Don't hurt nobody. Why you hurt?
No. But I ain't hurt nobody. I ain't hurt nobody's feelings, right? I'm a real estate broker.
Your spouse may not be cheating. We don't know.
No. I ain't talking about. We're gonna do it. We got a podcast coming up called "Does the Work Wife or Work Husband?" Is that was work wife or work husband causing problems in your relationship? Right? You got to remember now. TLC bought it when we talked about the Keke Palmer thing. The only one that ain't working is the one causing problems. Right? So remember, guys. If you trying to speak it into existence, the reason it ain't working for you is that person is already dealing with somebody who has what you're trying to speak into existence. Right? So at the end of the day, you can keep speaking into existence that you're going to get that Lambo. The reason she ain't in agreement with you, she already riding in one. Man, it ain't that big of a deal. It's a little tight in there. What? Look, the other dude already got the Lambo. Go ahead, TLC.
But that's what I was saying. Speaking something into existence is a lot difficult when you have two people. You don't know if those two people are on the same page. So you might be wanting that Lambo, and she just wants the guy in the Lambo to come pick her up. Like, it's not the same.
He already picked up. He already picked up.
Exactly.
You at the light talking, man, that's the car I want. She know the dude driving it. She already been in it. Like, and this is what I'm saying, guys. If you are the person who's saying, I'm going to speak it into existence, male or female, the person you are with is not in agreement with you because they already have with someone else what you hoping to speak into existence. TLC made it. Rhonda's point was good. Now TLC's point, when you're dealing with two people. See, guys, let me tell y'all something. When I was 21, fresh out of college, when you by yourself, I was the number one rep in the company. Why could I be the number one rep in the company? I ain't had to worry about nothing else. I could speak it and say, I want to be number one. My boss is telling me you got to do this, this, and this. You got to see this many customers a day. You got to sell this in the portfolio. This is a breakdown of the products you got to sell. I ain't got to go home and pray about it. I ain't got to go home and tell a significant other about it. I can just go to work. If you're trying to speak it into existence, the person you're with doesn't give a damn about speaking it into existence. It's always a one-sided thing. TLC just preached for the first time on these podcasts. It's always a one-sided thing if two people are involved. It's always a one-sided thing if two people are involved. Rhonda Baldy in church. Whoever want to go to marriage counseling, it ain't never two people who want to go to marriage counseling. It's only one.
Yeah, because something wrong with you. I'm good.
I'm good. Everything you praying will happen. I already got it with somebody else. Look, TLC, it's just like this, right? It's just like this. Rhonda bought in religion. You bought in the law of attraction. A lot of people don't understand the law of attraction. You got to be laser focused for this to work. You cannot be doing this stuff half-heartedly, man. Like, this ain't something you saying just to say. And I'm glad that Rhonda bought in religion. I want you to jump on that a little bit more, Rhonda, when you talk about these people in religion and the thing is too far gone. What annoys you the most about those people? What are some of the symptoms people going to see on these religious people when they talking about speaking it into existence?
The hypocrisy. the hypocrisy, number one, right? Because that's the thing about religious people. I ain't talking about spiritual people and they have their thing, right? But religious people will let you know what you should not be doing, or that they did it the right way, or when they know before they found whoever God they serving, that they were out here in these streets getting it in, whichever way you want to take that, right? And so it's like, again, how we said on other podcasts, how it can convict you to be a certain way. That's what I really feel about the religious aspect of it, is that do what I say, don't do what I do. That type of thing. And okay. But I also want to say, when you get to this point of speaking it into existence, how about we talk about what got you to that point? What happened? What shifted in the relationship to get you to the point to where you're speaking it into existence? Because when you're newlyweds, I mean, it's almost like you're still dating.
Emotion wore off. Bills and kids kicked in. Emotion wore off. Bills and kids kicked in. And what do I mean by that? And I'm going to add a third one. Appearance kicked in. Okay? Because some people trying to say, okay, this thing is about to blow up in my face. I need to save the appearance. And I ain't going to get into, it's so funny. I've been a part of some of these situations where people walk up to me and say, Jeff, I want to speak it into existence. Rhonda, when I came up to see you a while back, and I said, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? I can tell this person ain't interested in you. What you want, he doesn't want. So you can keep speaking all day, but he ain't into you like that. So speaking it to existence does not override logic. I'm glad you brought that up, Rhonda.
I mean, you might be speaking into existence. You might be speaking into existence and be a different person that's supposed to be coming into your life.
Now you understand, TLC. Now you understand. That's why speaking into existence needs to have some specific tangible things, because what you're trying to speak into existence ain't connecting with this person you trying to speak it over. Right? You guys probably don't remember the Geico commercial. And back in the day, Geico used to have a commercial with Pinocchio as a motivational speaker.
Oh, Lord.
And got up there and said, you got potential. And you got potential. You got potential. Right? Everybody in there knew he was lying. Well, guys, if you the person speaking it into existence, the person you trying to change know that you don't believe in the things you're saying. You're just trying to save the appearance of a thing. Rhonda just said the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And when you were in them streets, this is the best part about people in the street. You ain't never heard people in the streets talking about speaking into existence.
No, they're going to make it happen.
They're going to make it happen. We ain't never say, hey, man, look, bro, man, I hope God moves so we go to this club on Thursday. TLC. On Monday, in college, guys, y'all got to understand.
You may ask him for the chick to be there that you trying to holler at.
Absolutely. But guess what? Like you said, Ron, hey, look, I bet she going to be at Fridays on Friday. And this was before Bahama Breeze opened back in the day. I bet she going to be at Fridays on Friday. TLC, we going to Fridays. We going to get us one tall beer. We going to get us one tall beer and nurse that thing. We going to get us one tall beer and nurse. Like, why is it?
You go there and she's there. Did you speak it into existence?
Look, right. You wasn't even thinking about speaking it into existence. Guess what? I just knew she was going to be there. Everybody going to be at Fridays. It's Friday. So what happens is these people are losing all logic, guys. This is why it doesn't work without tangible activity, right? So if I'm trying to speak something into existence in my relationship, it ain't, you don't do a whole lot of talking anymore. You just say, like, if I decide I want to go to Dubai, okay. If I call Rhonda right now and say, Rhonda, our annual trip, we going to Dubai.
Yes.
Rhonda gonna say, all right, let me get ready to go to Dubai.
Yes.
Right? Like, that's how it, if you're gonna speak it into existence, people have to have a track record of you delivering. You see what I'm saying? This is why I tell y'all, man, TLC done had the same number since I done met her. I go crazy if that phone number changed.
Let me go change it.
Yeah.
I'll forward it to you, Rhonda. Don't give it to nobody.
Okay.
I'm over there Facebook messaging. Hey, man, something wrong with your phone. I'm on green all of a sudden. But I think, but y'all see what I'm saying, right? Like, when your relationship, I'm glad you brought that up. And TLC, I'm glad you brought it up about the law of attraction. Because we're going to pull that up, just go over these things. But Ron, I'm glad you brought it up. You're religious, you're hypocritical. And now, the reason why it's not working, you let it get too far gone. If you start talking about speaking it into existence, it's gone, guys. It's done. That person has already focused themselves on somebody else. If you talking about speaking into existence, this is your last leg because you're not known for a person who has a track record of doing something different, right? Like you gonna just, well, look, all I do, I'ma just pray about it. Okay, right. Yeah, man, I'm dead. I'm dead. If somebody tell me, yeah, Jeff, man, I pray for you. Oh, hell, I'm dead.
Right. Come on, man.
TLC, keep your prayers.
Keep your prayers.
If you gonna call me and can't do nothing tangible, the hell I want your prayers for? The hell I want your prayers for, TLC? If you can't do nothing tangible, that's the same way speaking it into existence work, right? TLC, if you call me, you like, JB, man, look, man, remember, bruh, back in 2004, bro, I kind of got into some stuff, man. My credit still messed up, but I've been killing the game. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I want to get this ride, but man, they say I need a co-signer. First thing out of my mouth gonna be, hey man, I co-sign for you. Because I'm seeing your track record of what you've done since you started. You see what I'm saying?
It'll be the worst car I ever drove.
Hey, they're gonna give you the best one on the lot. They're gonna give you the best one on the lot.
Is it gonna be the Lambo?
Hey, look, they're gonna give you the best car on the lot. They're gonna be like, man, get out of here. We want him in here. Get dog. Yeah, that's what they're gonna say when they see my credit score. That's what they're gonna see when they see my credit score. And he black too? No, this guy can't be rich. Tell him to send his ID over. But TLC, what do you think when you hear me saying that component of it as having a track record is the only way speaking it into existence gonna work?
Well, I think the track record is important because just like when you have a vision board, You look at your vision board. There's certain things you take off the vision board. There's certain things you put back on. But you still should be taking things off at some point. So at a certain point, you look at things like, wow, I've accomplished all this. I can't believe that. So when we talk about having a destination or a goal, the vision board helps you with that. And I think when you're talking about the law of attraction, it's the same thing. What is the goal we're working on? And you can't just say, well, I want someone to show up in my life. Like, you have to be specific. You have to be direct. And the more specific you are, the more direct you are, the more focused you will be on getting to an actual goal.
Okay. Now, Rhonda, when you hear TLC saying that, I'm assuming you agree with it.
That definitely makes sense. And all of that sounds good, but it also depends on the person. Like, that's why, like I was saying, with the track record making a difference. Like, what's your history with a certain thing? If you are out here and everything in your life is about speaking it into existence, then yeah, we got a problem. Like, you probably need to, like, there's some stuff we need to really be talking about. But that can also be the case if all of your relationships are things where you have to speak stuff into existence. There's a problem.
I like that. Now, that's another podcast for another day.
That wasn't an important point you just said.
Once you get to your 30s and 40s, bro, I ain't no need to be speaking it into existence.
Yes.
This is stuff for early on in life where you trying to make sure you stay laser focused because there's so many distractions.
Yeah.
Right? And Rhonda, you just, like, now when you find yourself late 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, if you find yourself talking that and nobody's joining you to put it into existence. And again, let me go out of this real fast because I was going to go through that, but I think Rhonda just brought up another jewel. Guys, when you own a business, all I got to say is, I want to do this. The people who work for me know, all right, let me start gathering the information. Let me start gathering the information. Let me start putting pen to paper. And again, a lot of people got to understand, if you start saying you want to speak it into existence and there's nobody around you putting pen to pad or foot to the rubber rubber to the road, guys, it ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. And guess what? Here's my advice for people. The moment you say speak it into existence is the moment the person you're trying to speak it over knows that they can treat you any kind of way.
I was just about to say, when you mention that in business, it's like you have to have an accountability coach. So to say, okay, you done spoken into existence now. What's your deadline? How are you moving towards this? You know, you have to have somebody to hold you accountable. Yes. So if you just speak it into existence,
you have to be disciplined. That person that is saying this is what I'm gonna do, you have to be disciplined. So that's why I had to say, where did their relationship get off track? Because somebody lost. They disciplined.
Or the relationship was never on track. We just did what we do traditionally because we get told you better do this and you better do that. And the people who told us ain't no better off than we are. Now we in the same boat as them. Right? We in the same boat as them. And one of the things you guys are gonna find is, I like to put age limits on stuff. And TLC, I'm glad you brought up business ownership. It's just like in real estate. TLC and I laugh all the time when we ain't selling no houses. Now we know somebody selling houses, they just not buying them from us.
Yeah, my brother. He killing it.
Shout out to Chris Clayton. Shout out to Chris Clayton, Navigate Realty. If y'all in North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Triangle area. Shout out to Chris Clayton on that thing. But what I'm trying to say to you guys is, I don't get mad. I say, I got to tweak this. I got to tweak that. I can't sit there and say, no, I'm going to sell 10 $5 million houses next year. I'm speaking into existence. Well, okay. Well, I got to eventually go where those people are going to be looking. And then I got to make sure that I'm better than the provider they already got. Right? Like, there has to be some tangible stuff to it. And one of the things I would tell you guys is that the problem that we have with a lot of people who are trying to speak it into existence is that they don't have any tangible stuff with it. Right? And then here's the funny thing, guys. If you're talking to somebody who's got a tangible, who's talking about speaking it into existence, ask them what specifically do they want from the person. Ask them what they want specifically from the person. Then ask them this. Have you told them? You know what the answer going to be 9 out of 10 times? No. And if you did tell him, it's going to be when y'all arguing. Best part about a relationship is when you start arguing, because that's when you really say what you want to say. That's what you say. That's when you say what you really.
Because they're listening. That's when they are actually listening.
The emotion is what triggers when your relationship in a bad spot. That emotion is when you're listening. Everything is heightened, and now that's why I don't like your boo anyway. What? Hold on. I thought we were working on this. No, we ain't doing nothing. Right? You doing it. But I'm already over here in the Lambo.
But that has to suck. That has to suck if you're the one that's all in and all committed. And then this other one just could give a damn about whichever way it goes. Because as a lot of people like to say, I'm doing me.
Yeah. Which means if
it reminds me of that Chris Rock joke where he was like, one person can't be saved again going to church and the other one smoking crack. Like, that don't work. But two crackheads, they can stay together forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And one of the TLC, I'm glad you brought it up. I'm abandoning the websites I had pulled up, guys. Because this thing flowing in a different direction. Right? This thing flowing in a different direction. And that's why when he said two crackheads can make it work, that's why I got to do this work wife and work husband thing. I got to do this work wife and work husband. They are connected over a purpose. Most relationships are out here with no purpose, no vision, no goals. TLC bought up a vision board. If your relationship having problems, show me the vision board where both of y'all worked on it. And again, if both of y'all are not on the same page, it's not going to work. And then what you realize is time may have expired on their relationship, but y'all just stand together. And ain't no need to speak it into existence if the time has expired, right? What do you do with stale bread? You make bread pudding. You make croutons. You try to make it work.
Throw it away.
No, you can't throw that bread away now. You can't throw that. See, y'all see I'm down here in the hospitality bit. You don't throw nothing away. You make some soup. You make something. All right. So, but the hardest thing for people who grew up in poverty, the hardest thing for people who grew up in lack is to throw anything away. So when you start talking about a relationship, you can't throw it away because throwing it away means failure. It means you didn't have enough creativity to make it work. You did not waste a drop. And one of the things I had to learn when I got to a certain level is if I didn't like something in a restaurant, you don't send it back. Yeah, man, I ain't like that. No, don't take it off my tab, though. Right? Because in essence, you grew up, it better be good. No, it wasn't good. I just won't get it again. And I'll never forget when I did that the first time. I did that the first time in front of a customer. Yeah, man, no, don't send it back. We just know not to get it next time. Right? Because if anybody's ever went out with me, that's where y'all see me. If you go out with me, all you got to do is look at that menu. Man, I was thinking about this, but now I'm probably looking at it. Hey, give me both of them.
Yes.
What else you want? Right? Because now you're like, man, we ain't gonna be able to eat the entree. Well, why do we get taught like that? Because we got taught you don't eat appetizers.
No.
You eat it all. Now you eat it all. Dessert, everything. Rhonda remember Nick and Sam's? Rhonda, we had everything at Nick and Sam. Well, but
your mama had everything.
Yeah, mama had everything too. But the reason I'm saying this to you guys, is that TLC just brought a good point up. Rhonda, you just brought a good point up. It's got to be two people who want the same thing in order for speaking it into existence to work. Why? Even the scripture says that. One will set 1,000 a flight, two will set 10,000 a flight. That's what it says, right? How can two walk together unless they agree? And what you're finding is the moment you hear somebody talking about speaking it into existence, they are in constant disagreement. And now you're just trying to figure out a way you're trying to coexist. And so let me go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
And that's why couples, especially if they're married or living together, they should have a house big enough where they could stay in separate rooms.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to try that make it work thing, right? If that's where you are, like give yourself some space. Y'all come together when it's time to do the thing, and then go back to your separate ways.
But see, Ron, I'm gonna give you another way to look at that for all of y'all who gonna be like clutching their pearls and stuff when Rhonda just said what she said.
I'm a fornicator. Mm-hmm.
Oh, just yeah, that's gonna get me, Rhonda. That's gonna get now. You know we different on YouTube now. Look, but no, what's happening is if you want speaking it into existence to work, I'm gonna say this, guy. I'm gonna say this. You better be in a leadership position at your job, because like TLC said, it's this law of attraction. Most of us got taught the law of attraction when we read John Maxwell, when we got into Tony Robbins. All that stuff came from a professional standpoint. If you're not growing at your job, guys, your relationship ain't growing either. It's going to be hard because what did I say on previous podcast? You don't, 2 questions, and that second question is going to determine if you're going to get anywhere with this person. What's your name? What do you do? She ain't interested in your name. What turned her on is whatever the answer to the second question is. Yeah, you know, I'm a custodial structural engineer down at the factory. Oh, okay, yeah, you're a janitor, right? Once you tell her you're a janitor, she goes, oh, okay, all right, right? But if you told her, I do this, this, and this, and that's why I tell every guy, you better be able, don't give her your title. Don't give her your title. Give her your responsibilities. Anytime, give her your responsibilities, right? Oh, what do you do? I'm responsible for compliance at the highest levels for these, 5 organizations I run. Nothing major. Oh, see, now TLC, I talk responsibility to you.
TLC, is that true, TLC?
No, don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. No advice he ever gave work.
I'm just telling y'all, tell her your responsibilities. Because if you get with her, if you get with her,
we didn't know to say, well, what does that mean? What do you actually do? Like, we know how to come back with.
That's why you tell. But no, they don't do that when you lead with your responsibility. Anybody can have a fancy title. Anybody can have a fancy title, right? But at the end of the day, I just lead with my responsibilities. I lead with my responsibility. I lead an organization of 50 people, and and I'm responsible for marketing, sales, advertising, and compliance. Right? Now she's intrigued. But if I just say I own X, Y, and Z, well, if she done been to the spot, now you never know, right? But that's why you lead with your responsibilities. And that's why TLC, Ronnie, TLC telling you not to do anything? TLC telling you not to do anything I say, not take my advice? There's a lot of people who done won by taking my advice now. There's a lot of people, TLC. But I think one of the things we got to start recognizing, if you failing at work, guys, speaking it into existence is not going to work. I'm going to just do this real fast. So before we get ready to close out, I just want to go through these 10 since TLC brought it up. So we know we got the law of attraction. So look, I'm going to go through this real fast, guys. Only speak about what you want. And I'll link this into the description, right? I'm just going to the bold ones. Okay, we got, so number three is tell the universe your plans. Who is the universe? Everybody you come in contact with, right? A lot of people don't understand that. Tell the universe your plans. I did a video on my Patreon page. Don't move in silence. That's where this comes from. Here's the big one. Number 4, speaking to the mirror. You better like what you see in the mirror, because if you don't like what you see in the mirror, who else gonna like it? Speak into the mirror all the time. Whenever I got a staff meeting coming up, or before I do this podcast, I'm always in the mirror speaking to myself, preparing, because you got to make sure, guys, that you get this thing right. And for all of you who still gonna try to believe in speaking it into existence, I hope you realize, believe what you're saying. This is the biggest one. Most people don't believe what they're saying, but they want you to believe it.
Absolutely.
They don't believe in what they're saying, but they want you to believe it, right? So people who talk about speaking it into existence, they letting you know their faith is shaking. Their faith is shaking. Ignore the naysayers. Now, guys, here's the funny thing. Ignore the naysayers. There's a difference when somebody says it ain't gonna happen. Now, what they mean by ignoring, it don't mean people ain't gonna say it. But when people say, hey man, I appreciate the feedback and move on, you don't let the naysayers affect your behavior, but you need the naysayers. The naysayers are necessary. And you're gonna see this. You're gonna see this when we get into number 10, I think it is. And then we're gonna come back to the screen. Okay. Watch the things you say when things don't go to plan. Notice, guys, the biggest important part about this is you got to have a plan. So anybody who talks to you about speaking it into existence, hey, man, email me your plan over so I can know what I'm supposed to be in agreement with. What you mean, my plan? I shouldn't have to do all that. Well, it ain't going to work then. So you got look at what it said. Would you want a world where there were no hiccups along the road and things just worked out immediately? Yeah, all of us would, but that ain't real life, right? So we know there's going to be hiccups in the road, and then here's the deal: meditate with mantras. This is a big one, man. You better learn how to meditate. I tell people all the time. First of all, the reason why people can't meditate is they don't like being by themselves. They hate being by themselves. I love being by myself, which is why meditation can work, right? Persist with affirmation. Words have a magical power. They can either bring the greatest happiness or the deepest despair. I want to say this, guys, as we get to number 10. Your words match your faith. Now, y'all saw number 6 said ignore the naysayers. Now number 10 says shout your intentions from the rooftop. Y'all go to my Patreon page. I just did a video on Patreon. Don't move in silence. If you don't understand, shout your intentions from the rooftop. Y'all been taught. Then keep everything to yourself. Don't let people know your next move. What is number 10 saying? Man, you better tell everybody. The reason you can't shout your stuff from the rooftops is you hanging with the wrong people. You hanging with the wrong people. So I can come on a podcast and tell people what I want to do. I want 100 bars by the year 2030. I want 100 of them. Right? What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? I end up with 10 or 11. Remember, guys, you don't get criticized by people who got more than you. You only got criticized by people who got less than you.
100,000 viewers.
Look, now we only 96,000 short. Well, 95,800 now. I got 4,200 today.
Oh,
I'm at 4,200 now. We 95,800 away, guys. Y'all keep praying, keep believing. We gonna speak it.
Oh Lord, there you go.
We gonna speak it to existence.
TLC, when you see those 10, what you thinking?
Again, like I said, I think it was the same thing. I'm not against speaking things to existence and the vision boards and the law of attraction. I just think between two people it's hard because you have to make sure you have the same goal, the same plan. And I think that's where the problem comes in with this thing. Just because you're speaking something to existence doesn't mean the person you're with is speaking it into existence. So other than that, I agree. For individual and for a person to have individual goals, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
TLC, I'm glad you brought that up before I come in around it. TLC, I'm glad you brought that up. What if I said on every podcast, man, focus on you? I thought about Ronda the other day when Dion came into this pregame speech. Dion came in there and said, "God, we're going to keep the main thing the main thing." That's what Dion said. We're going to keep the main thing the main thing. And we going out here and dominate. Because it's personal.
It's personal.
You talk about my kids, it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
You come in here and stand on my yard, it's personal. Right? We got to start recognizing just because you are married, just because you're in a formal relationship, stop trying to speak things into existence over somebody else. Start speaking them over you. Because you don't control the other person. And if you already trying to speak it into existence over another person, y'all disconnected anyway. I can't look, man. If you and I are just different, if I focus on me, magically your flaws don't look so bad. If I focus on me, but if I keep focusing on you and your flaws, I'm not focusing on the solution to your flaws because the reason your flaws got bad is because I allowed myself to regress. But if I progress, your flaws don't bother me because your flaws don't have nothing to do with what I'm trying to accomplish. What do you think, Ronald, when you hear me say that?
You definitely have to focus on yourself first. I know you used to always say to me, Ronald, what you focus on will grow, because I was so focused on the wrong things, right? And so those things would seem like insurmountable. But once you change how you look at things, meaning making sure you're good, then you could be better for someone else or be good for someone else. And sometimes maybe you're just supposed to be friends and not necessarily in a marriage or a relationship. Sometimes that's just what it is. But if you put this facade out there to make people think that things are a certain way, then that is a lot of unnecessary pressure. And that's why I liked about number 7, because it said to watch how you talk to yourself when things don't go as planned. You should watch how you talk to yourself and about yourself every time you open your mouth. Instead of when things just go wrong, because when things do go wrong, you tend to beat up on yourself or think negatively about yourself. And now it's like, oh, okay, you know what? I didn't make a good decision on that. I'll pivot next time. Let me go this way. Try it another way. And so everything boils down to you at your core, and if you believe in yourself. So I like those 10 things.
Yeah, because that's really what it comes down to. Those 10 things, guys. Those 10 things didn't say for you to do anything about somebody else.
No.
Those 10 things are what you got to do. TLC, right, man? If your relationship is in a struggle and you want that relationship to get better, you got to focus on you. Because y'all disconnected right now. What did it say, TLC? If one person in church and another person a crackhead, it ain't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the person at the church, we got to pray this demon out of them. That when them drugs got to come out of them. We praying. Meanwhile, the crackhead stand a crackhead because the dealer understands what they want. You trying to change them, but the dealer understands what they want. Now, I ain't telling you to become a crackhead to make it work.
Hey.
But if you stop going to church and judging them, and you start realizing that the same way she turned to crack or he turned to crack, he could have turned to me if my life was worth living. And a lot of people got to understand that person is saying, I watch how you're living life. Why do I want you speaking anything over me? If your life is not elevated, why do I want you speaking over me? I don't want to be like you. You're not growing. You're not. One of the things I just sent an email out to my staff. If you're not asking for promotions, why are you here? Like, why go do a job and not try to get why are you doing a job and not trying to grow? And I think that's the scariest thing out of all of it. A lot of people, you talk to people and you ask them where are they trying to grow toward, and a lot of them don't have an answer. Scariest thing you want to see, man. Scariest thing you want to see. TLC, what's your final thoughts for tonight, brother?
Well, my first thought, because I'm new to the cigar game, I've had a lot of different cigars, but this El Septimo is very, very good. I must say, it's probably one of the better ones I've had so far.
It's that Sacred Arts collection, bro.
Very nice cigar, I would say that. But going back to the law of attraction and speaking things into existence, I think it works for individual with individual goals. But again, when you have two or more people, it doesn't really work as well because what you want to focus on and what they want to focus on may not be the same thing. You really got to make sure you're on the same page. And it goes back to what you were saying about Dion in the locker room. If you focus on yourself and do what you need to do to be successful, it's going to make the whole team better. Mm-hmm. There's a quote out there that's like, that was good. What isn't good for the hive isn't good for the bee. And that's the truth. If you're in a relationship, you need to be focused on yourself. And by being a better you will make your relationship better in itself.
I'm glad you said that, TLC, because guess what, guys? If being a crackhead is bad, that crackhead got to look at you and say, all right, their life is better than me. If your life ain't no better than her, but she just doing crack, you better recognize that, right? The crackhead, look, a drunk man tells no tales, right? So you could be, she on drugs and I'm not. But your life might be just as bad. You just hooked on something else that people don't consider illegal. Right?
It's not good for the hive.
And you hooked on failure. If you hooked on failure, I'd rather be hooked on crack than to be hooked on failure. Because I can get clean from crack. But once you get hooked on failure, you can't nobody fix failure.
Did they say that was a hell of a drug? Did they say that was a hell of a drug?
It's a hell of a drug.
I don't know what movie it was.
Yeah. But look, Ron,
that was Rick James.
That was Rick James.
Okay.
What's your final thought, Ron?
Final thoughts is do your best to not let anything in your life get to speaking it to existence. If it is, reevaluate yourself and not the people around you. Because when you reevaluate yourself, the people around you will automatically change. If you have the discipline for that stuff, for your environment to change. But no, don't. You got to focus on you. If you're not ready to focus on you, spend some time with yourself to get yourself right. Don't be bringing nobody else into that whole hurricane. Ain't nobody got time for that. Get somebody else to do it. Yes.
Oh, you ain't
I didn't say
that.
That's you.
I was like, I didn't know if you were taking a dramatic pause right there. I didn't know. You know, man, my takeaway is simple. If you are talking about speaking it into existence in a relationship, that relationship is over. I ain't telling you to leave. I'm telling you to start anew. You can't recreate. We talked about the crackhead. What makes a person a crackhead? They keep chasing that first hit. They keep chasing that feeling of that first hit, and they never can get it back. That's why in a relationship, if you find yourself speaking it into existence, just let that part of the relationship go. You're never going to get it back again. You need to start anew. What does what would a healthy relationship look like now? What's important to you now? Not 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I ain't trying to recapture my plum crazy days. I can't do it. But what I can do is, what can life give me now? And a lot of people don't want to start anew in that same relationship. So they break up and they take that same package and that same drama and that same trash and garbage to the next relationship. Same thing happened. That's why some of y'all don't need to leave. You just need to start anew. How do you start anew? You start with yourself. And that's where a lot of people, and if you were talking about speaking it into existence, and I walk into your bathroom and on your mirror is nothing, in your iPad notes is nothing, there ain't nothing that shows me I should be, the book of Habakkuk says it, 2 and 2. Write the vision, make it plain, so those that can see it will run with it. I need to be able to see what you want, what you want to happen. And that's where a lot of things, people don't put pen to paper and people don't put foot to action when it's time to speak it into existence, man. And y'all know what it is. It's the Smoke Something, Drink Something podcast. Y'all do me a favor, man. Look below in the description. Get the merch, man. Support the channel. I'm telling y'all, man. Y'all see the shirt? Matching mug. Y'all see it? And again, the hottest thing on the streets right now. And if y'all don't like my face, y'all can get TLC's face. You can get Rhonda's face. You can get the Real Cigar K's face. You can get Big J the Barber's face. We got it all up there, guys. What I'm telling you is, we got the merch. I got coffee mugs all around. Coffee mugs all around. Y'all better go get the merch, man. Y'all know, if you hadn't already, do me a favor. Hit that like button, mash that subscribe button, turn on that bell for notifications. Y'all know I gotta thank my panelists for joining me again. TLC, remind them who you are, tell them where they can find you on the socials.
I'm on Instagram at TLClayton1, and I'm on Patreon, The Joke I Didn't Tell.
Appreciate you being on, Brother Rhonda. Remind them who you are, let them know where they can find you again on the socials.
It's your girl Rhonda, and you can find me on IG at RMBLMBT.
Man, and y'all know what it is, and until next time, we gon' holler. Yeah.
It's your boy JB, live and direct to you. You know what it is. Like and subscribe to.